Got us on? Good evening. Welcome to the City of New Carrollton Council Hybrid Workshop Session. Today is Wednesday, April 1st. You got me too?
Oh, yes, we're good.
April 1st, April Fool's Day. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. See where we're starting on this agenda. I have one announcement to make before we get to everything on the agenda is that I would like to add an executive session to the end of this meeting. And that may depend on Councilmember Urbina, who has family issues and cannot be here with us tonight. She said she would try to sign in virtually, Caitlin. So if you can, if she shows up at 7:30 to 8 o'clock, then at the end of this meeting, we'll call an executive session for the council members only, but only if Councilmember Urbina can join us. Okay, then that's called to order. And let's start with resident concerns. We have Gordon and Cynthia. Anybody want to take the podium? We're take a roll call tonight. Then I'll move right into council announcements and we'll have a short evening hopefully tonight. And we can start with, I'll start with Cynthia to my left hand. You got any announcements tonight, Cynthia?
Food distribution is next Friday. And next Saturday we have I call it Spring Fling, but we have the New Carrollton Spring Fair next Saturday. From what, 12 to 3, 12 to 4?
12 to 5.
12 to 5.
And if the council need t-shirts, let us know so we can pull it out with the sizes.
Okay.
So is that Saturday the 4th? You say next
No,
Saturday?
next Saturday, 11. Oh, that's right. This is
The 11.
Yeah,
The 11th, right,
Yeah.
the 11th.
Yeah, the 4th is the shredding event.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't
Okay.
show up your tax forms.
And we'll go right down the line there. Lincoln, you have announcements tonight?
Actually, Mr. Chair, I was gonna make those two announcements about the Shredding Day and the Spring Festival, but they've already been spoken to, so I'll just wish everybody who celebrates a happy early Easter. We are in Holy Week, so for those who celebrate, this is a very, very important week, so happy early Easter to everyone who celebrates.
Agnelli.
I got two announcements. The first one is to make sure our residents are aware that the proposed budget for fiscal 27 is posted on the website. It's available in the city for review. Council members got a printed copy, and there will be a public hearing on the budget on Wednesday, April 15, 7 p.m. And you have the opportunity to participate virtually at that same meeting. There will be a public hearing on stop sign cameras. And on May 2nd, the council will be holding a long day workshop to discuss the budget. So we can hear from residents first on April 15, and then on May 2nd, you can come and hear the discussion among council members, and then there will be other meetings where decisions would be made regarding the budget. There's two other public hearings regarding all resident voting, and they are happening on Monday, April 13, and Saturday, April 18. I'll say more about that later in the meeting. My second announcement. Do you ever wonder what is happening with the Purple Line? I got a really cool email from the director, and I asked him questions. And so the Purple Line is scheduled to be opened for revenue service. That was a kind of interesting revenue service in December 2027. So it may be like they open it for free rides before December 2027. And I got some nice numbers, at least they were interesting to me. They're reporting 88.8% of the construction is complete, and all 28 light rail vehicles have been delivered, and they're in our Glenridge operations and maintenance facility. They expect to put the last tracks in May, and that will complete the 16-mile alignment. In April, they will be doing live wire testing around the stations near the University of Maryland, around College Park, and there will be traffic disruptions nightly between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And finally, if you're interested in hearing more about the Purple Line, there is a meeting, part of their community advisory team, for our region on April 22nd, 6 p.m. and specifically for Riverdale, Glenbridge, and North Carrollton. April 22nd, 6 p.m. is virtual. I'll give the information to the mayor so we can communicate that in constant contact. And if you are more interested in more information, Purple Line MD. That's all I have.
You said Riverdale, New Carlton, what?
Daniel,
Riverdale, New Carlton.
Glenbridge
Okay.
on April 22nd. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Can we do something about the heat?
You want it warmer or colder?
I
Exactly.
mean, it's like a sauna.
Can we open the door?
Okay, for a polo.
It's down still. So
I have, I don't think you mentioned the town hall meetings. The town hall meetings are in April, this month, and they're the second Saturday, so that's April the 11th at 2 o'clock in the library. Council
I thought it was
Town.
canceled.
Mr. Chair.
No, not till May.
Oh, not till May. Okay, so April's canceled. Thank you. Glad everyone's listening. May the 9th is the second Saturday. If you want then. And then in June, it conflicts with the Maryland Municipal League
Oh,
in Ocean City, so the council won't be available. So in June, we haven't decided if we want to move it up to the first Saturday or make it the third Saturday. And maybe we'll ask the people at the May, okay? See what the turnout is and see if people would like to get back together with us in June. It is a busy time of year. Now, the other announcement I have is that with this Purple Line discussion, I noticed that I can't use Veterans Parkway. That's closed all week. You folks know that? Veterans Parkway is closed all week. And then this, I've generally gone to this. This Eric Olson has a town hall and resource fair at William Wirt, which is right off of Riverdale Road, 62nd, right behind, it's behind, but you can't get it, it's behind Parkdale High School, but you gotta go through the creek to get there. Can't drive it. But that is on April the 9th. Today's the 1st. You have 8 days to get over there, and a whole list of companies he's invited: Pepco, the Revenue Authority, let's see, Prince George's Community College, MNC PPC, Prince George's County Office of Finance. The Purple Line people will be there, and the fire department and the police department and others. Okay, that's in the evening at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at William Wirt. And that is what I have for announcements. Now, let's go down the line of Four Cities tops. When is the Four Cities meeting, by the way? Those
So
calendar.
I have it on my schedule as April 29th in Greenbelt. They have not emailed me yet to confirm that, but that was what I had on my calendar.
Okay, April 29th, so we have some
23rd,
time.
23rd, excuse me.
23rd. That's a Thursday,
Is it usually at 6 or 7?
and it's food at 6 and they start at 7, yeah. But they bring food in at 6. It's a Thursday?
Yes, that's a Thursday.
Okay, it's usually a Thursday, so it's Thursday the 23rd. Any topics, any burning topics anybody has here? Cynthia, you have any to add?
Who controls that mosquito spray that all of us get? Do we pick that schedule or do that?
County.
The county does. Nope, I have no questions.
Okay. Mr. Lashley,
I don't have any topics, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
okay. Ms. Agnelli. Do you have any?
I'll defer to you.
Okay, since we've had some discussion in open meetings about registration for voters who are not, let's see, they're not registered with the county. So I know these other cities have all resident voting, but I'm not familiar with all their procedures for registration. And we had questions raised about registration at our last meeting. The question was, why can't we have everyone have the same rights and register on election day? So I would be interested in what the other cities are doing. I know the Greenbelt says that registration requires 21 days in advance. And I don't know what College Park does. I should find out. I don't know what Berwyn does, because I believe they have all resident voting too. And of course, the concept is you want registration to accommodate your election staff, because if you have same day registration for everyone, and there's a question, and Brianna raised the question, she's not here, is it constitutional to give a privilege to a person who's a citizen and not give it to someone who's not a citizen? And I don't know the answer to that, and I have spoken to our city attorney. He said he'd have to research it and charge us for that. I'm not sure we want to go down that path. But the concept is that last time we had 31 additional voters because of all resident voting. Those 31 additional voters didn't register. They were anonymous. The changes we're making will require them to register. Should they do that in advance, or can they do it the day of? Well, if the 31 becomes 200 and they all come on the same day, what is Charles Davis going to do with 200 people trying to fill out applications? I think it's burdensome. Now, we came up with 21 days, maybe 7 days. Caitlin has to do the registration. Is it fair to Caitlin to have Charles Davis dump all that on her? And maybe we'll only get 2. We just don't know. But a period that allows work with the registration process was put in our proposal, and that was 21 days. So I might want to see what the other cities do for the registration. And does that cover what you had concerned with too? Okay, I didn't mean to talk so long about it, but I wanted you to understand the concept that we did come up with 21 days, and our attorney pointed out to us, there is nothing about 21 days that's in the Constitution or in any other legal requirement. However, that's 3 weeks. If we have 200 people register, she has 300 or 200 applications on her desk, and should she do it the same day? That's the drawback to doing it the same day.
Clarify
Yes.
point. In writing the proposed legislation, the idea that citizens can register on the day of voting, that's why we kept it that way. Maryland law allows for same day registration, not necessarily registering with the county before, but in drafting the voter requirements for other residents, then we established the need to create a voter registration record. And that's why, following guidelines of other cities, we established 21 days. But the difference is that Maryland law says you can register on the same day if you're a US citizen.
Okay, so that wasn't on the agenda. That was a long 4 cities topic, but we can summarize it by Caitlin just talking about the other cities, voter eligibility, registration requirements, something like that. Okay, now moving on to toilets. Everybody came out tonight, right? We've discussed this already. This is second reading. Let's see where it is.
Need someone to read the title, and if there's any changes you guys
Okay.
want.
It's in your packet,
Can.
page, 10. And Agnelli, would you like to read that for me?
Yes, I just need to read the title. Did I hear you say?
Just the bold title.
Okay, so this is the second reading of an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Neapolitan, Maryland, authorizing and regulating the use of portable toilets during construction and reconstruction in the city by adding new subsection 66-3U to the code.
All right, is there any discussion on that after the second reading? We've been through this. All right, we can move on. Should be a brief evening here. Now, I put these electric display signs on the agenda because a resident was kind enough to do some research, and this is not any procurement research. This is just one vendor that has a sign that looks something like what you should have in your packet there, since you have it there. And I don't want to discuss procurement of this. I want to discuss, do we like the idea that we update? And I'll tell you the brief history, because I was here for it last year when it was proposed that we get 3 signs, and they started out at about 150,000. And by the time we were given all the information on permitting costs, construction costs, putting them in permanently, it got up to about 250,000, and most of the council said that's too much. That's my understanding. These signs can be purchased. And by the way, we were told when we presented that sign last year, they said, we don't want to look at any others. this company is the best. We only want the best. Well, the best is the highest price. And they said, yes, and Lincoln, you remember this company. We only want the best. We don't want. And if we can get second or third best for half the price, I'd like to put our procurement officer on this. And I just want the council, I'm not, no direction, Mayor, just the council to consider. Do we think we want to upgrade to this kind of thing? And if it's not 250,000, say it's 100,000 for 3 signs and it's budget season. I want you to look at this and think about it.
Is that 250,000 for 3 signs?
That's what it was last year. Last year, the numbers came in and they were 250,000. That's when Brianna, that's when she said
The locations like that.
well, we can talk locations, but right now we have one on 450 behind Starbucks. We have one at Beckett Field coming over the hump on the bridge. And we have one,
Oh, both sides.
yeah, and we have one over by Robert Frost School. Now, Robert Frost School creates a problem because we don't own that property anymore. So we might be able to put the sign on the county property, or we might put it across the street on our property. But that's one location if you want that. But it's been proposed by people talking to me about this, so we might consider a new location. We might want to put one in front of the hotel where people come into the city, instead of putting it on 450 where the traffic is fast and a lot of it is not local traffic to New Carrollton. We might want to get the one out of Robert Frost on Good Luck Road. We might want one in front of the library. We have to decide. You want it off the main street?
No, the one, if it goes by library, that's not by me.
The one by the library doesn't need the main street because that's the entrance to the city. So that would be great for announcing meetings and things, but we don't have one there. So that's one place that we could put one. And the research would have to be done as our procurement officer looks into it. We have to go to Pepco and we have good contact over there and she will tell us whether they can drop a power line down there. And if we put these signs in and run them on electricity, I know they said we could do it at Robert Frost. I'm pretty sure they can do it at the hotel. They should be able to do it back at Field. But anyway, those are details. I just want to see if you guys like the concept, if we want to pursue it in budget season.
What are we gonna do with the ones we have?
Well, the ones we have are, I don't know if you can sell them on gov deals, but they're ancient and they, I don't think they get the message across because they're delayed and they print letters out very slowly and you drive by it before you can read the whole message. So if there's a market to dump them, there are places for signs like that, but we can't use them effectively for the things we want to announce, like a town hall, like a public hearing, because by the time it prints out, 10 cars have gone by. And they're great for what the police department's put in. Have you checked your smoke detector? They leave that on there all day. Well, that's good. Don't park any commercial vehicles on the street. But those are just messages that sit on there all day. If you're going to display something that you need to have people follow, a large message, our signs are not adequate. And I don't really know how to get rid of them. But so let me bounce this down the line, because I did put 10 minutes on here. Do you think we should pursue it in the budget season? And what are your thoughts about what you see in the packet here? Cynthia, you can start.
I've seen them up and down the road in other cities, but they off like the highway 95, it's like that way. I would like to be able to put one right in the middle of 450 as you come down the hill, New Carlton, because that way they can see it going and coming.
We have one on the side. We'd have to ask Pepco if they could do that, and that's a county road, so that would have to be researched whether the county would let us do that. But we can stick one at Starbucks because that's our property. That's within our city limits anyway.
Yeah, but you gotta look over there. You see from
I
the
know that one doesn't
streets.
get, yeah, and you know, it's only one direction traffic. And what do you think, Lincoln? Should it be pursued at all?
My recommendation, Mr. Chair, would be that we can pursue it if the price point is below 250.
Okay. Well, I would have a lower price point, but okay.
I wouldn't want to go anything higher than.
No, I think 350 was high, and I think that price point can be beaten. We'd have to get our procurement officer Clinton to look at what the options are. This was just one. Okay.
I did have a question. I saw something where it says here, no monthly fees ever. I know.
You know,
we have a-
I don't know this vendor. This was shared with me by a resident,
Oh, okay.
and the resident thought that we should upgrade our signs. And I happen to agree, so I put on here to get your thoughts in budget season. But okay,
Yeah, I guess we'd have to actually quiz or ask the vendor what we need by that.
we really should turn this over to Quentin, our procurement officer, and say, this is just one. Would you do an RFP of some sort to see who would respond? Because the people who do the best will be there too, and Um, we have to evaluate everything. We look at it as a council, we get some proposals. What do you think, Agnelli, about signs?
I think it would be fantastic because one of the things we want is to encourage participation and engagement for the residents. And in order to do that, they need to know what's happening. And although our constant contact emails are full of information, the pool of people getting that is still not large enough. And so that could even be something to advertise. Hey, do you want to get our regular weekly newsletter? Register here. So I think it would go very much in increasing engagement and participation in city events. So I would
Okay.
support it.
So it's just price tag because it would, I agree that it would increase engagement. Okay. We'll have to see what the next steps are on that. Aisha isn't here. I would like to hear her thoughts on how we work with that. Let's see. The public hearing communications kind of fits in with this because we have 3 coming up. And how do we communicate that? These signs would be perfect for that. Now they've been out in constant contact. If Brianna were here, she would raise the question again if we can see if people want to voluntarily submit their text into phone numbers because more people follow text than email, Brianna would say. I don't know. At least Agnelli announced tonight that all the public hearings will put out in constant contact, right?
Yes, but I wanted to read the information and the rules for the public hearing on all residents voting.
Okay, let's see if that's.
Are we getting to number 7?
We're in number 7. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I was concerned with how it fits in with the display signs because the word doesn't even get out that we're having these meetings. And now it did go out in constant contact. I don't think that's fully sufficient, but I'm not sure what else to do. But okay, you can read the rules. Okay.
The printed bulletin for April or February, printed bulletin for March and April
At all 3.
included the information for all public hearings regarding all resident voting, included these instructions or rules that I want to share again.
Okay.
And we also had the list of public hearings regarding budget. So
Okay.
in the printed bulletin, all residents were communicated, but you got it the first week of March, maybe you didn't keep it around. So that's why it's really important to repeat it in constant contact in these meetings. And so what I want to put in the record is the rules or the structure for the upcoming public hearings on proposed charter and code changes to address qualifications and residency requirements to vote in municipal elections. The city of New Carrollton is a diverse community that values all of its residents. To expand the eligibility qualifications and registration guidelines for both U.S. citizens and non-citizen residents, on December 18, 2024, the City Council passed Charter Amendment Resolution 25-08, Qualifications and Registration of Voters, which modified the provisions for voter registration in municipal elections. Following the passage of Resolution 25-08, the Council has received significant feedback from members of the community. To address many of the concerns expressed in that feedback, the Council has drafted a new Charter Amendment Resolution, which would supersede Resolution 25-08 if approved. The City of New Carrollton will hold 2 public hearings to receive resident feedback. All members of the New Carrollton community are invited to attend. The hearings will take place in the multipurpose room of the New Carrollton Municipal Building at 6016 Princess Gardens Parkway. I want to make sure that everybody's clear. It's in person only. There will not be a virtual meeting option for these 2 public hearings. The first one is on Monday, April 13th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And the second hearing would be Saturday, April 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. Now, the rules for speakers and persons attending the public hearing. Each person wishing to speak during the public hearing will have 3 minutes to speak. The moderator will issue an alert when 30 seconds remain. Upon arrival at City Hall, attendees will put their names on the sign-up sheet and identify themselves as either a resident of New Carrollton or other interested party. Please indicate in the sign-up sheet whether you wish to speak. Residents of New Carrollton will speak first. Other interested parties will be allowed to speak according to the time available for each hearing. 1.5 hours for the first public hearing on April 13 and 2 hours for the second public hearing on April 18. The moderator will recognize speakers according to the sign-in sheet. Once the sign-up sheet is exhausted, the moderator will recognize other individuals by raised hands. And this is important. If you'd like to submit questions about the proposed legislation or comments, they must be submitted in writing to the city clerk by 3 p.m. next Monday, April 6th. You can do that by dropping them at City Hall or via email at clerk@newcarrolltonnd.gov. The publication of the questions and responses and comments will be posted by April 9th on the city website. And we will also have printed copies of questions, responses, and comments submitted to the city during the public hearings. Additional written comments are also welcome after the public hearings. And if you require translation services for Spanish or other languages, or in accordance with the Americans with Disability Act, you require any other type of special accommodation, please contact Caitlin by phone at 301-459-6100, no later than April 6th. So, got until Monday, April 6th to submit questions or comments to the city. That's all I have.
Okay, those are the ground rules and I have no comments on it. Do you, Cynthia? Do you, Lincoln?
Just a few,
Okay.
for you online, it won't take long. Do we know who the moderator will be yet?
Yes, we have resident Craig McLean.
Could you provide some clarity for me on, you say residents of New Carrollton will speak first, and the hearing time now for the first one is scheduled for 1.5 hours.
Mhm.
So if we have, let's say, 50 residents and they use up that whole 1.5 hours, does that mean that the other people who are not residents will have to wait until the second public hearing to testify? Yeah.
Yes. We want to make sure we hear from our residents first.
Oh, I'm perfectly good with it. I just wanted clarity, so I was.
That's
clear.
why we have two. And on the first day, we discussed there will be council business after the public hearing. So from 7 to 8:30 is the public. And then we have a council business.
I'm good with that. I just want clarity and want to make sure anybody else who was listening had
Yes.
clarity as well. And last but not least, well, this is probably for Caitlin. Have we received any questions from any residents
Not
yet?
as of yet.
Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Great.
Chair.
I have no other comments on that. So the budget format I put on here because we requested a format and I haven't had a chance to go through it in paper yet. I looked at it online. Don't discuss budget items right now, but does anybody have any concerns with format?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, I have a paper copy. I just glanced through it. The format looked good to me. You okay, Cynthia, for now?
Mhm.
Okay,
So far, I'm good, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. I'm just receiving it myself and looking at it for the first
okay,
time.
well, that's 10 minutes. We'll reduce to 1 minute. And the BRC compensation study, I, as the person chosen to attend these meetings, wanted to give you a status of where I've been. I did attend the kickoff meeting. It was all virtual, BRC people virtual and our staff and the mayor virtual. And the a data request was sent by BRC and it was responded to on March 30th. I provided each of the council members a copy of the transcript of the kickoff meeting, if you remember, And at the end of that meeting, I asked some questions about timelines. I don't have them outlined here, but it seems to me they're working at a pace that will give us information, some information by the end of April, some by the end of May, and it looks like it will be timely within our time restraints for voting on the budget. So we'll have some information to work with. I'm not sure how much, and I will continue to be invited to the status meetings and give you updates. Any questions on what's going on there? Okay, so that's 10 minutes down to 2. And we'll go back to public comments. Anybody want to join us in discussion now? Think anybody out of a chair? You have something to say?
I am a resident. Last year, maybe it was this year, we were talking back and forth about the changing of the lights and Petco and them giving us a temporary testing, whatever happened. Are we gonna do the lights? What's gonna happen? Either
We,
one?
no, we still talking with Petco about that. Nothing has been finalized. Last meeting I was on, I know Mike Shit was on there. Status call meeting about where we at between getting the conversion change from LED to background. So I think she's still on the talk with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest issues is whether or not we want to own the lights or whether or not
We have service on the side.
it's service.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not going to adjourn because Brianna just texted me and said she will be here in person. She's leaving now and from her father's place, and she's over near the Metro. That's where he has a condo. So I'd give her about 10 minutes. We can have an intermission here. Anything else anybody wants to share right now before we do that? Yeah.
Can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
I know we'll have time to ask the administration questions at the next meeting, but any update on what's going on with Choppers?
No, no. There is tentative negotiation, but everybody's tight-lipped. We did ask. I went to the county, I went to the property manager. Until the deal is sealed, they don't want to disclose the information.
Gotcha. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
But if you pay the right price, I might be able to get this. Yeah, how much you have, $5? I had one thing I wanted to add. I know in the last meeting, you guys had discussed about, if somebody can prove that they're related to the resident of a house, that would make them eligible to vote. And we've gotten a couple concerns sent into the administration that somebody proving that they are related to somebody in the house, the daughter or the son, does not prove that they live in the house. And I just wanted to say, I have gone to several other cities that have all resident voting, and I've seen some flawed. Where I saw one particular family that I knew very well that lived in Langley Park, but was voting in Brentwood. So I'm just saying, while you guys are thinking about making the changes, make sure you look at the loophole that we can create at the same time.
I move that we take a 10-minute break till,
So Brianna shows up, huh?
Councilman Brianna.
I'll second that.
Okay. We're all in favor of that. That's fine.
Aye.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Keep the camera,
Popcorn,
keep the
soda.
camera running.
Now, for our audience, do they know we're going into session afterwards? So they-
Well, let's see. There were no public comments. Yeah, we'll have to. In 10 minutes, we're gonna adjourn and go into executive session and you will not be welcome. So, if you want to leave.
Dang,
Oh,
In that case.
dang, it's like,
Wow.
well, hold on.
I can go- right,
You can't
go back
say
up the
me,
street.
You gotta go home.
Get up out of here.
That's
That's
exactly
a harsh way of putting it, but,
Come sit back.
but if you will, you want to,
All the beds, I guess you ready.
want to salvage some of your evening, you're welcome to leave.
That's being put out anyway.
You have 10 minutes.
Okay, I thought it was that.
It's all good. It was raining when I came in.
Oh, it was?
It was raining kind of hard when I walked in. Not like flood, but definitely you need an
I can't
umbrella.
afford to get wet.
And Mayor and William, we're gonna hold this executive session with the council members only. So you guys,
We know, but
Okay.
you said in 10 minutes, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just
You're
taking
welcome.
our time to
oh,
pack up.
please do. If you don't want to salvage your evening.
They said thunderstorm for 8 o'clock.
Do they?
Let's go.
Still in the inside.
We're not welcome.
Come on. Welcome. The,
No, neither are we.
Right.
It's
Around the
okay.
corner, back to the house.
We ain't good.
That's your picnic.
Look, they're gonna.
Not agree, huh?
But I'll take it.
Oh, I thought it was for yourself.
Actually got warm enough for 90 in some places. They said.
Yeah, when I.
My career park in the back or in the front.
It's not supposed to be that warm tomorrow, right?
No,
But then
tomorrow's
goes back up Friday to 85.
Then it goes back down.
Saturdays.
What was that?
Saturday time.
Next week, back 50.
Take that one.
Yes,
Oh, no,
Sunday
you
is
wasn't-
only
I have it on
supposed
my
to be
phone.
70,
Okay.
and
Thank
then you're right, a couple of days next week is 58.
They said low, some low is 40. I can deal with that. No heat to it.
Listen.
37 next Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. Yeah, I just don't, I'm ready for it to be hot.
I was down in Virginia Beach. I've been down in Virginia Beach since, Thursday.
Oh, wow.
I got down there, it was 85. You know, I was coughing carrying on, so I went in, took a hot shower.
What's it doing?
I don't think you can fix it. It's supposed to be able to fix itself,
Yeah.
because isn't it,
Yeah.
it's like solar or whatever.
It should be a button behind.
One of those atomic clocks.
Yeah.
Glued to the wall.
Oh, yeah, they tried to do that before. It's,
Put that on the agenda.
I can talk to Maisha
I
about
was
her.
gonna say, yeah.
It bugs the heck out of me.
It's either nail or glue.
yeah, they tried to take
It's
it
not
out
just
once
1
before.
hour off. It's just in Pacific time.
It's not even military time. That's the thing about it.
It should be a little button.
Well, you could
Like I said, I told you.
Okay, we're back in session.
I move that we come out of recess and back in session,
I'll second it.
Okay,
and then we move to.
and you can read that, Cynthia. You can move us to go into executive session.
I move that the city councilman Carlton will adjourn into a closed session in accordance with general provisions article of the annotated code of Maryland, sections 3-305B1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of employees, of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other person or matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Attendees of this meeting will include council members, what's your name? Rosenberg, Mills, Lashley, Urbina, and Lave, as well as city clerk. Topic: personnel budget versus salaries.
Okay, that's a
Gonna
motion.
be returning into open session afterwards.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
I think we have to, right?
Yeah.
We're required.
Anybody second and going in that?
I'll second it.
Okay.
You
We
still have to do
got-
the roll call.
we have to roll call
Yeah.
vote, and Caitlin's doing a multitask here. Okay, well, you can start with Agnelli.
Take the vote.
Agnelli, yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So you have 5 of us, and you can shut the camera down.
All right, give me a couple minutes here.
Okay.
We do keep her busy.
Yes, got a lot of things going right now. A lot of different roles he's filling as she's wearing. So yeah, the getting defrauded is the thing that like he would have gotten. He got defrauded because he has dementia, but it's made it so much worse because the stress of that incident has made him like not capable of
He's
functioning.
aware of it now.
Yes, but it took
Can't
some
quite
doing.
handle it.
Yeah, it took some doing to get him to convince him that he actually did lose the money. Yeah, I actually walked into his house while it was happening.
Are we in there? Okay, welcome back to our session on April Fool's Day. We feel like a bunch of fools for closing this now at 8:47. We finished our session at 8 o'clock, but anyway, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We have 4 council members still remaining here. Stay to the bitter end.
Mr.
Motion.
Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second, and all are in favor. Aye.
Aye.
So, thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for the late evening, and we are adjourned. Thank you for tuning in this evening. That's another task to do, getting us out of here.
You know what? I feel like we're moving.
We're trying.
We're all one, we're going in this,
Right
going in the same direction for that, I think, you. Because we're in the general direction we want to go.
Yeah, but like I said, when I first came back, it's like, whoa, where these dollars come from?